Loose lips sink ships. That old wartime quote wasn't just about soldiers on the front lines, it was about survival. Back then, the wrong word at the wrong time could cost lives. Today, not much has changed. The battlefield just looks different. Now, we're in the age of oversharing, selfies, status updates, and public vulnerability. And if you're not careful, the secret you're casually posting or whispering could be the very thing that destroys you. This isn't about fear, it's about staying alive. So before we get into the 7 secrets you should never share if you don't want to get killed, I need you to pause, hit that like button, and subscribe if you care about protecting your mind, your safety, and your power. And trust me, stay with me all the way to the end, because one of these might just save your life. Hey folks, imagine this. You're walking through a forest in the dead of night. You've got a flashlight. It's small, barely cutting through the fog. Every step you take leaves a footprint, and every breath you exhale gives off heat. Now imagine someone is watching from the shadows. You can't see them, but they're there. They don't need to run at you. They just need to follow the trail you didn't know you were leaving. That's what oversharing looks like in today's world. We don't even realize we're lighting the path straight to our own destruction. One post, one comment, one misplaced story at a time. We've been sold a lie, my friends. A lie that says, if you're honest and open, the world will love you. That transparency is virtue, that speaking your truth makes you stronger. But the truth is, some people are not listening to understand you. They're listening to map out how to use you. They don't see your openness as courage. They see it as access, a password, a backdoor, and once you're in the habit of sharing everything, they never even have to break in. You just keep opening the door wider and wider. Let's get something straight. Not every secret is dangerous, but every secret can be weaponized. You might think you're just talking, joking, bonding. But what you're really doing is drawing a target on your back with invisible ink. It might be invisible to you, but to the wrong person, it's glowing red. A lot of people think danger looks like a masked figure in a hoodie behind a screen. Sometimes it does, but more often, it's a coworker who knows your routine. It's the friend of a friend you once vented to. It's that harmless comment about your finances, your family, your fears. A secret isn't always a scandal. Sometimes it's just a soft spot, and someone's waiting for the right moment to hit it. Even Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." But in our world, it's not just about truth or right. It's about what is safe. And safety means silence, self-control, being smart enough to know when to speak, and wise enough to know when to keep your damn mouth shut. I'm not saying become a robot or shut yourself off from the world, but I am saying this. You need to become untrackable, unpredictable, untouchable. You can still connect, but do it with caution. You can still share, but not everything, and especially not the things we're about to cover in this video. So, if you're ready to stop being the person who hands their enemies the keys to their own house, if you're ready to walk with power instead of leaving crumbs for vultures, then stay with me, because we're about to dive into 7 secrets you should always keep to yourself if you don't want to get killed. Drop this in the comments. My silence is my shield. Press the like button, hit subscribe, and let's get into it, because the truth is, what you keep to yourself might be the only thing that keeps you safe. Number 1. The secret of your routine. A predictable path is the easiest one to ambush. Let that settle for a second, because while most people think danger comes out of nowhere, It rarely does. Danger is patient, calculated, and it loves when you make its job easier by living out loud on repeat. You don't even realize it. But your routine, that comforting daily rhythm, might be the one thing that makes you a walking target. Picture this. You wake up, stretch, grab your keys, hit the gym by 7. Same time, every day. You post a sunrise selfie from the same sidewalk. You tag your gym. You grab a smoothie. Then it's off to work. Monday to Friday. Repeat. You think you're just being disciplined, consistent, but to someone watching, you've become predictable. And predictable is dangerous. Because when your schedule is public, even unintentionally, it's like giving a map to someone who shouldn't have it. Let me ask you something, my friends. Who knows your morning routine, your evening walk time, that grocery run you always make on Sundays? Do you think they're all watching because they care? Or could one of them be watching because they're calculating? That's the lie no one wants to admit. Not everyone in your life has good intentions. Some are just playing the long game, waiting for you to be right on time. Again. Let me tell you a story. A guy I knew, Dan, quiet, good-hearted, worked in finance. Every morning, he left for work at 6:45 on the dot, walked the same block, took the same train, sat in the same coffee shop corner before clocking in. He wasn't flashy, didn't think he had enemies. But one day, his apartment got hit. No signs of forced entry, nothing random stolen. It was like the thief knew exactly when he'd be gone, how long, and what to take. Turned out, someone from his building, a neighbor he barely spoke to, had been watching, memorizing, all because Dan had become a living loop, easy to study, easy to strike. Here's the truth. You don't have to be rich to be targeted. You just have to be reliable. And routine is one of the most silent ways people open the door to manipulation, stalking, even violence. Most threats don't need a crowbar, they just need a calendar. So why do we fall into this trap? Because routine feels safe, familiar. We're told habits are good. That consistency is power, and that's not wrong. But Stoicism teaches something deeper. Control your habits, but don't broadcast them. Be consistent in your discipline, not your visibility. Seneca once said, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." And the same applies here. If everyone knows where you'll be at all times, you're nowhere safe. Living like this takes effort. It's uncomfortable. It means switching things up, leaving at different times, taking different routes, not posting in real time, delaying gratification. But let me tell you, being uncomfortable for a moment is better than being unavailable forever. You don't owe the world a play-by-play of your life. You owe yourself safety, strength, and the ability to move unseen when needed. We're not here to live paranoid. We're here to live prepared. Think like a shadow. Be present but not predictable. Be strong but not broadcasted. You're not hiding, you're protecting. There's a difference. One is fear, the other is power. And let me say this directly to you. You don't need to post every gym visit. You don't need to tell your friends when you're gone or where you're headed every time. You don't need to check in from your favorite lunch spot just to prove you're living life. You are living, and you're doing it smarter than most. Right now, say it loud in the comments, "I protect my power with unpredictability." Show them. Show yourself. Show the world around you that you're not the one to be tracked. You're not the one to be studied. You're not the easy path anymore. Because what's coming next in this video, it'll show you just how deep this goes. The next secret might be something you're revealing every single day without even realizing it. and it could cost you more than you think. So stay with me. We're just getting started. Number 2, the secret of your finances. Don't show them your gold while they're still holding a blade. That's not just a quote, it's a law of survival. And yet, time and time again, people hand over the most dangerous information about themselves without a second thought. Not because they're reckless, not because they're arrogant, but because they've been trained to believe that sharing equals connection, that success should be seen to be real, that your wins mean nothing unless someone's clapping for you. But let's be brutally honest here, folks. Not everyone clapping is on your side. Some are clapping just loud enough to keep you talking, so they can learn exactly what you have and exactly how to take it. Imagine this. You're walking through a dark alley, and in your hand is a briefcase. You're not holding it close, not hiding it. You're swinging it, open, proud, shouting, "Look what I've earned." Now ask yourself, would you do that in real life? Of course not. But online, in conversation, in casual moments of trust? We do this every day. You post about buying your dream car. You casually mention the raise you just got at dinner. You show off your vacation house, your bonus, your new investment. It feels like celebration, but in reality, it's a broadcast. And not everyone tuning in is your friend. Let me tell you about someone I once knew. Her name was Elise, a self-made graphic designer who hustled her way into a solid income, finally bought herself a place after years of grinding. She was proud, and rightfully so. She posted a few pictures, a caption about being debt-free, the keys, the front porch, a few inside shots, nothing crazy. But within 3 weeks, her place was broken into. No signs of forced entry, no messy ransack, just a clean sweep of her tech, cash and jewelry. The only thing left untouched was the pride she had felt before it all went down. That's when it hit her. She wasn't robbed because she was careless. She was robbed because she was visible. Here's the lie we've all swallowed, that the world wants to see you win. But the deeper truth, many people want to see what you have, so they can figure out how to take it. Some want to be you, others want to break you, and both are dangerous when you give them a detailed blueprint of your financial life. Now you might say, but I'm not rich. Doesn't matter. You don't have to be rich. You just have to have more than someone else thinks you should. You just have to appear like you're getting ahead while someone else feels like they're falling behind. That's all it takes for envy to turn into strategy. The Stoics never flaunted their wealth, even when they had it, not because they feared judgment, but because they understood that external things mean nothing if they invite internal chaos. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire and wrote about detachment from material things. He didn't brag about his palace. He wrote about humility, discipline, and the dangers of pride. That's a mindset most people today desperately need. So here's what I'm telling you, plain and simple. Stop giving people financial ammo. You don't need to explain your income. You don't need to post your purchases. You don't need to tell that coworker how much your side hustle made this month, because every time you do, you think you're just being honest. But what you're actually doing is arming someone else's plan. This isn't about being paranoid. It's about being intentional. It's about knowing that silence doesn't mean shame. It means security. You don't have to downplay your success, but you do have to protect it. So what's the move? Deflect. When someone asks what you make, say, "I'm comfortable." Change the topic. Celebrate in silence. Post about your vacation after you get back, if at all. And if you just bought something big, let your piece, not your post, do the talking. Because true power isn't loud. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't seek applause. It sits quietly, like a lion under the shade, watching, waiting, unbothered. Say it in the comments right now. My wealth is not for show. Say it like you mean it. Show them you've grown past the need to prove anything. Show yourself that your wins are sacred. Show the world around you that you're not another open book waiting to be torn apart. Because next up, we're about to talk about something even more personal and even more dangerous if it ends up in the wrong hands. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear next, most people never recover from sharing it. Number 3, the secret of your love life. The moment they know who has your heart, they know how to break it. That one hits hard because it's true, and in today's world, where people document every crush, every breakup, every heartbreak like it's part of their highlight reel, it's become one of the most dangerous overshares of all. Not just emotionally, but psychologically, and sometimes even physically. See, folks, love isn't just personal anymore, it's public. You don't just fall for someone, you announce it. You don't just break up, you publish it. And before you've even processed your own emotions, half the internet already knows who you were with, what went wrong, and how you're dealing with it. But here's the part nobody talks about. When you put your love life out there, you're not just sharing your story, you're exposing your soul's weak points. Imagine walking through a crowded room with your chest wide open and your heartbeat loud enough for everyone to hear. Every beat says something. This is who I care about. This is where I've been hurt. This is what breaks me. That's what posting about your relationships is like. You're showing your emotional pressure points, and you're trusting that everyone watching is kind. But not everyone is. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had a falling out and noticed that the people who once encouraged your happiness suddenly go quiet? Or worse, use that same information to hurt you? Maybe they bring up your ex, maybe they spread rumors, maybe they weaponize your heartbreak to manipulate you, gaslight you, mock you. Because here's the lie they never warned you about. Not everyone wants to see your love grow. Some want to see it fail. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your happiness made them uncomfortable. I knew a woman, Tasha, strong, confident, and in a beautiful relationship, or so it seemed. She used to post those cute little captions, "He gets me, my person, forever." But after a year, things started to crack. Quietly, privately. They had arguments, distance, doubt. But because her love life had been so public, she felt trapped in her own illusion. She couldn't talk about the truth without undoing the fairy tale she'd built online. And when they finally split, the emotional toll was twice as heavy, because it wasn't just a breakup. It was a collapse of a persona she felt forced to maintain. Even worse, the people who followed her story started messaging her ex. Some took sides, others stirred the pot. She wasn't just dealing with pain. She was dealing with audience interference. Strangers were inside her wounds, poking around for entertainment. That's not healing. That's hell. The Stoics would have warned us. Epictetus once said, "Keep your affairs to yourself." Not all should be told to all. And this isn't about shame. It's about strategy. Silence isn't hiding. It's protecting. It means you get to sort out your emotions without public pressure. It means your healing stays sacred. It means no one can manipulate what they don't know. Now, I'm not saying never talk about your relationships. I'm saying be selective, be deliberate. Know who you can trust. Not everyone who smiles at your love story wants it to last. And not everyone who listens to your heartbreak is a healer. Some just want ammo. Why do people share their love lives in the first place? That's the deeper question. because it feels good to be seen, to feel admired, to show the world you're not alone. But that desire, when unchecked, can cost you more than you realize. That validation comes with a price tag, and when things fall apart, the crowd that once cheered becomes the chorus that whispers, "I saw it coming." The Stoic path is quiet, strong, and private. It doesn't seek outside approval. It doesn't broadcast affection. It holds love sacred, not for the world, but for the bond itself. That's where the power is. That's where the peace is. So what do? You keep your joy sacred. You keep your pain protected. You don't post out of impulse. You don't share out of ego. You speak when it's wise, not when you're wounded. And above all, you remember that your love life is not a public service announcement. It's a personal journey. Right now, write this in the comments. My peace is not for public consumption. Say it. Claim it. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world that your heart is not an open stage. It's a sacred place. And stay with me, because in the next section, we're diving into a secret that's even more hidden, but even more dangerous when it leaks. If someone knows this one, they don't need to attack your body. They'll go straight for your soul. Number 4, the secret of your pain. They can't hurt what they can't see, but once you show them the wound, they know exactly where to press. Pain is sacred. It's personal. It's part of being human. But in a world that rewards vulnerability as currency, where people are applauded for bleeding on camera, crying in captions, and unpacking their trauma for strangers, we've forgotten that not everyone deserves a front row seat to our suffering. And sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do is speak too soon about your scars. Now listen, my friends, I'm not saying pain should be buried. I'm not saying silence means suppression. I'm saying that when you reveal your deepest wounds to the wrong audience, you're not healing. You're handing out a blueprint for destruction. You're telling the world, here's where I'm soft, here's where I'll break. And not everyone will comfort you in response. Some will use it. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine walking into a battlefield, holding a shield in one hand and a sign in the other. The shield says, strength. The sign says, here's what destroyed me last time. Which one do you think they'll aim for first? That's what oversharing your pain does. It invites sympathy from the few and strategy from the many. And yes, I get it. Pain is heavy. We want to share it. We want to be seen, heard, validated, especially after we've survived something dark. But there's a difference between expressing for healing and exposing for relief. And that line gets crossed more than you think. Let me tell you about Jordan, mid-50s, quiet, kind, went through chemotherapy, beat the odds, wanted to inspire others. So he shared his journey on a local Facebook group, talked about the fatigue, the medication, the sleepless nights. He wasn't bragging, he wasn't begging, he was just being honest, vulnerable, human. But among the likes and well wishes, someone else was watching, someone who saw not a survivor, but a soft target. Weeks later, while Jordan was passed out from treatment, someone broke into his home, took nothing flashy, just enough to let him know they'd been there. A silent invasion, a message, I know your weakness now. That's the thing no one talks about. Not all danger comes screaming through the door. Some tiptoe through the cracks you leave open when you speak too soon. So ask yourself, who really needs to know what haunts you? That you're afraid of being alone, that you're battling anxiety, that you're grieving a loss so deep you can barely function. These things matter, but not to everyone, not to every co-worker, not to every acquaintance, not to the digital void. Because once you put it out there, you can't take it back. And once the wrong person knows it, they'll test it. Maybe not right away, but eventually. Trust me, Stoicism teaches this at its core. Your emotions are valid, but your reactions must be disciplined, not repressed, disciplined. As Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." And bravery doesn't mean spilling everything to everyone. Bravery is knowing how to carry your pain without turning it into performance. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not telling you to become stone. I'm not telling you to pretend you're fine when you're not. I'm telling you this: share with the right people, in the right places, at the right time. Speak to those who've earned the right to hold space for you. And if you don't have that yet, start with yourself. Journal it, pray it, whisper it into the night where no one's listening but your soul and the stars. But don't hand it out like candy to crowds who only show up when it's entertaining. Because when you protect your pain, you protect your power. You give yourself space to process, to grow, to heal without interference, without manipulation, without someone taking your pain and spinning it into a puppet string. Right now, say it in the comments. My pain is not for public display. Say it, mean it. Show them, show yourself, show the world around you that you're not a walking open wound anymore. You're healing in silence. You're reclaiming your strength, not by shouting, but by standing still, grounded, unshaken. And stick with me, because what's coming next, it's something even more dangerous. Because while your pain is deeply personal, your plans, now that's where people strike before you even realize you're at war. Number 5, the secret of your plans. If they know what you're building, they'll know where to strike. That line isn't just clever, it's a shield. Because every time you speak your plans too soon, you give people a target, not just for criticism, for sabotage, for manipulation, for control. In a world where envy wears a friendly face and sabotage often comes disguised as support, your next move should be your most protected possession. Let's talk real. You've got a vision, a move you're making, a business idea, a career shift, a relocation. Maybe it's big, maybe it's just a quiet upgrade, and you're excited. Of course you are. You want to tell someone, you want to post, you want to say, "Watch me, I'm about to do this." But here's the problem. Not everyone wants to see you evolve. Not everyone wants to see you break out of the version of you they're comfortable with. And the second they hear your plan, they start crafting their resistance. Imagine you're planting a seed in your garden. It's fresh, fragile, not yet rooted. If you shout to the world, "Look at what I've planted," you invite people to walk right over it, stomp it, dig it up, or worse, steal it before it's had the chance to grow. That's your vision. Your goals don't need an audience. They need protection, silence, stillness, discipline. I knew a guy named Leo, quiet hustler, built an entire online brand from scratch. But early on, he kept sharing every move he was about to make. New product launches, future partnerships, website updates. Every time he'd post his next step, someone else would beat him to it, rip it off, undercut him, watered down his vision until it wasn't even his anymore. It wasn't until he started moving in silence, dropping finished results with no warning, that his progress became untouchable. You don't owe anyone your blueprint. You don't need to prove you're working. The Stoics would laugh at this modern obsession with pre-validation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good person should be one." In other words, do the work. Let the results speak. Let the dust settle before you tell the story. Why do people overshare their plans? because they're looking for permission, for applause, for momentum. But external noise can't build internal fire. If your plan is real, it doesn't need a stage, it needs action. Quiet, consistent, relentless action. So here's your power move. Work in silence, speak in outcomes, move like a shadow, shock them with the results. Right now, drop this in the comments. My plans move in silence. Say it with purpose. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world that your next step isn't a post, it's a surprise. Stay close. Because next up, we're diving into something people never think twice about sharing, but it just might be the most dangerous information you'll ever let slip. Number 6. The secret of your defenses. A fortress isn't strong because people see its walls. It's strong because no one knows how to get in. Let that hit you. Because today, more people are bragging about their security than actually protecting anything. They think flashing cameras, motion sensors, and biometric safes on Instagram makes them look smart. But what it really does, it hands out a blueprint. Listen closely, my friends. Your defense, whether it's physical, digital, emotional, or mental, isn't something to showcase. It's something to guard with silence. The moment you start talking about what protects you, someone somewhere starts thinking about how to get around it. Think about it. You tell your neighbor you don't have an alarm system. You laugh at a dinner party and say, "Oh, I never lock my back door." You post a home renovation video that accidentally shows the layout of your bedroom, where you keep your safe, or worse, where your child sleeps. It feels harmless in the moment, but to the wrong eyes, it's intel. A guy I knew, Greg, once showed off his new fingerprint-locked safe in a Facebook group, said it was tucked behind his suits like a spy movie. Weeks later, house broken into. Only thing missing? The safe. Not the TV, not the jewelry box, just the exact thing he bragged about. Not all threats are loud. Some threats take notes. They observe. They plan. And when your defenses are public knowledge, you've already lost the upper hand. The Stoics believed in strength through restraint. Epictetus said, "Be silent for the most part, or speak only what is necessary." That applies now more than ever, because strength isn't about telling the world how you're protected. It's about making sure they never figure it out. So here's your power play. Keep your safeguards private. Don't talk about your weapons, your passwords, your safe spots. Be a locked door that looks like a wall. And if you're with me, drop this in the comments right now. My protection is silent. Say it. Show them. Show yourself. You don't need to prove you're safe to feel secure. Stay tuned, because what we cover next is about something even more personal. A secret most people give away without thinking, and it could cost them everything. Number 7. The secret of your past. Tell the wrong person your past, and they'll use it to control your future. Your past is your testimony, but it's also your tender spot. And when you share it too freely too soon, or with the wrong crowd, you don't sound healed. You sound exposed. And exposure, my friends, is not empowerment if it gives people power over you. Think about it. You casually mention the mistakes you made in your early 20s. You joke about the time you got arrested, scammed, or burned. You share the traumas, the heartbreaks, the drama. You do it to relate, to bond, to say, "Hey, I've been through things too." But here's the danger. You think you're sharing growth. But some people are taking notes. That ex who wants leverage. That co-worker who's secretly competing. That friend who stores your darkest chapter for the perfect moment to use it. Not everyone hears your story and wants healing for you. Some hear it and think, "That's where I can hit them." I've seen it firsthand. A man I knew, Jacob, had turned his life around completely. Got sober, found faith, built a business. But he shared his rocky past in every conversation, thinking it made him relatable. Then came a rival, found old records, twisted Jacob's story into a scandal, all because Jacob had forgotten a core truth. Some stories are not meant for every ear. The Stoics lived by restraint, not because they feared judgment, but because they understood that power lies in what you withhold. What you've overcome is sacred. It's not shame, it's wisdom. But wisdom shared with fools becomes a weapon. So here's your move. Keep your past in a vault. Share it with the trusted few who've earned it. Let your present actions speak louder than your old mistakes. You don't owe strangers your scars. You owe yourself protection. Say it in the comments right now. I don't owe anyone my past. Write it, declare it. Show the world that your story is yours, not for entertainment, not for leverage, not for manipulation. And if this message hit home, if you felt this in your gut, here's what you need to do next. Hit that like button. Subscribe right now, because the next video waiting for you isn't just powerful, it's personal. It breaks down how most people unknowingly reveal the one thing that can ruin their life in seconds. Click it now, because survival isn't luck, it's awareness, and you're about to level up.